Hello and very warm welcome to RAFLIMTS. This is Farooq Hussain. In this hands-on video tutorial, we will learn how we can download and install Koha 25.05 on Amazon EC2 instance. Koha 25.05 is the current release of Koha library system. But first thing first, is it possible to install Koha library system on Amazon EC2 instance where we are using a free tier? So here I am on my console. So you can see I am already using two instance where I have terminated one, and you can go to the instance, and this is actually EC2, and let us launch one new instance. So I just reply you the question that I have asked. So the name to instance is actually RAFLIMTS Koha. So you can select any name like or Koha. We can go with Koha. Okay. And after this, we need to select the operating system. So here we can browse the operating system, and these are the operating system Amazon provided to free tier. And you can see it's Amazon Linux and Mac OS and Red Hat, Sushi, Ubuntu, and Windows as well, and Debian also available. So I'm just going to select Ubuntu 22.04 to make it lighter. And okay, after the this is, you can see it's complete details of the operating system. So instance type, we have two types of instance here. One is T3 micro, another is T3 nano. So T3 micro and nano comes with two CPU and 1 GB of RAM with T3 micro, and half GB of RAM with T3 nano. So now you can see we need to generate one key pair, or we can use the old created key pair. So I am going to create one key pair, and the key pair name could be like Koha 25 and key. And yes, we need to generate this in PEM file. Okay, now I have generated this. Okay, so at the next step, we need to work with the firewall setting, and we need to work with the group security. So here I allow SSH, HTTPS, HTTP, and don't worry about this warning. So now let me add it for this group. For one more port I need for intranet, I mean Koha staff interface. So I just go, you can see it's 80 available. So I just go to custom TCP, and it could be like the port will be but yes, it will go to anywhere. I mean, this rule apply. Source type, and in port range I just use 8080, and you can see this is the port 4, and where I use 8080, and it actually source type anywhere. Okay, don't worry about this warning. This is nothing. Okay, this is some advertisement. Okay. Okay, now this is important actually. So here we have memory type is SSD, and GP3 is better than GP2. I mean, it's faster. Okay, so we have generated one key pair, and you can see the advanced detail here, but it's not actually required. This is like domain, join directory, and instance auto graded. CPU, RAM disk ID. Okay. Okay. Now let us check once again before we launch it. Koha. I use Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, T3 Micro, and the Keepier security group. I use one port 8080. Okay. I think let me create one more port for safe site. So I just use, in fact, we need to work with the, let me work for, I mean, this is not mandatory, but I use 8001 and 8002 for Koha staff interface and OPAC 8001 and 8002. Okay, yes. And everything is okay. So now let us launch the instance. And here you can see it will not take long and you can directly connect to your instance here and you can create some alert for uh, billing utilization if you are using over limit, so it will alert you. So let us go to our instance and I just close my email and you can see the public IPv4, I mean the public IP of this is this. We need to copy this and we need one application that is called PuttyGen and it's available in exe file. So I just generate one and I'm going to load the PEM file and let me open that PEM file here because I'm using Windows here, so I need to connect with SSH client and I need to save this key here on my desktop. So this I mean application will convert your PEM file to PPK file and that is required to log in our instance. Now I actually open one application that is called Putty and Ubuntu is actually my username and then IP. At the rate IP in authentication we have credential and I need to browse my key that I have created and here I use ppk file and let me accept this and here we are actually login as sudo su, so we become root and let me clear this. Okay, now here my guide to install Koha. At very first step we need to update and upgrade our machine, I mean the Ubuntu machine. So I just use this command sudo apt-get update and apt-get upgrade and Y is for yes. So it will not take long, but it will take some time. And I'm not going to pause my video here. So you can see all the process. And of course, it's not possible to install Koha on Amazon EC2 instance where we are using a free tier. because a free tier comes with 1 GB of RAM, and at least we need 4 GB of RAM to install Koha. So which service we need to restart it? So I just go with OK. We don't need to restart any service. Tab and OK. Okay, now we have updated and upgraded, and here I am going to use a trick that's called swap file. So I am going to create some fake memory. So these commands will create 4 GB of memory. I mean 4 GB of memory, and you can check this. So we have actual memory is 1 GB, that is 914 MI, and the swap is actually 4 GB. So when 1 GB will complete it, it will use the swap file to continue the process. And this is just for practice purpose. So you can create it and you can use it for practice purpose only. But for, I mean, here, I mean, I'll tell you later. So here we have the repository. So I just go with the stable version. So I just add the Koha repository and then key here, source key. I also download the source key here. And now let me update my system. And now the main step is actually to install Koha, Koha Common, and that is actually 1978 MB. If you don't use the swap file, so I mean, it will stop here. The free instance, I mean, free tier of Amazon. So technically, it's not possible to install Koha on Amazon EC2 instance where we are using a free tier, because it comes with 1 GB of RAM. Okay, now it's actually unpacking and it will take some time, but I'm not going to pause my video here so you can see all the process. And of course, this method is for practice purpose. For production, I would recommend to have a good uh, RAM to work with Koha library system. At least for production system, you must use 16 GB of RAM. So you can connect to Amazon and you can actually buy, or if you are using like your own server, so you need to work with the 16 GB for production system. I mean, minimum at the production system, it's 16 GB at least. Okay, so it's continue, continue, continue. Okay. So it's now setting up Python. And then. We are very close. Okay, it's started one plugin, Rabbit MG. Okay. Okay, so again, which services need to restart? So I just go with okay. We don't need to restart any service right now. Okay, now it has done. So, and we have installed it without any pause. So let me clear my terminal, and I need to work with the Koha configuration file. So here I just open this file, and there you can see we need to work with the intra port. That is actually the staff interface. So I just use 8001 that I have created, and for OPAC I use 8002, and in fact we can use 880. It's okay. Uh, hmm? uh, uh, this is also possible to work with 80, the default port. But okay, for now, let me go with 8002, and I just use Control O to write out and then Control X to exit. Okay, now after this, we can actually check the swap file it's working or not before installing MySQL. But let me install MySQL because we have already checked the swap file, they are working. So MySQL Server is actually the main database of Koha library system, and we need to install it. So within MySQL, we will create the Koha database. I mean the Koha instance, we can say. Okay, which services we need to restart it, and we can say it's okay. We don't need to restart any service here. And now it has installed. MySQL Server has installed. So at this movement, I need to activate rewrite and CGI mode. Both are the most important mode of Apache server. Apache is actually the web server of Koha library system. And here I am going to create a instance, I mean the main instance of Koha, that is library. You can name any. Okay. Now I am going to configure the Apache ports. So I am going to activate the ports those we have created. So 8001, listen 8002 as well. Okay, after activate both of the ports, we also need to check one file that is called library configuration file and site available directory. So you can see, you can verify the OPAC is available on 8002, and the staff interface is available on 8001. Okay, now exit. And of course, we need to restart Apache. This is the old command to restart Apache, service Apache to restart. And let me use new command, system control restart Apache 2. Okay. Okay, after the Apache restarted, and we need to disable the default Apache file. Uh, okay, and here we activated one more. We also activated the library, and this command will tell you the password of Koha library system. I mean, the web installer password or the main instance password that we need to copy and we need to save here. And that password is actually different than the uh, super librarian password. Okay, now this is the password I just copy, and now this command is actually holds the current installation. So if in any case it will upgrade, so it will not upgrade your setting, your version. You need to disable this and then you can upgrade it. Now you can see this is our IP and I use 8001 as the port on my web browser, and there you will see the web installer of Koha 25.05 is available and swap is actually working. So Koha underscore library and the password that we have saved. Okay, so we can log in with this password. And we can save this, but let us go as it is. So here we need to select the language. By default, it comes with English. And we need to check Perl dependencies. Of course, Perl is actually the scripting language of Koha library system. So here we have checked the Perl dependencies, then database setting. So here is actually the database setting. So you can see all database settings are available. So set up database. So here we are going to set up a database, and it will take a few time actually. So database tables created, and continue to the next step, and that is actually the basic configuration settings, where we need to select the Mark 21 flavor. I mean marked a mark flavor, so I just go with Mark 21. And here we have some mandatory things, those are already checked, and some optional things we need to export. So I use some default authorized values like for library location, item loss status, etc. So I use this one. And okay, so we can work with the sample labels and patterns card data, and we don't need sample libraries, item types. Codes. And yes, of course, I need to work with the uh, Z3 9.50 and SRU client to import data. So I select this Library of Congress, and then I import it. Okay, it will take few time to import. Now it has done. Okay, so you can see all done, and now set up some of Koha basic requirements. So that's actually the onboarding tools. So what we need to provide the library code. If we are using any code, so we need to write the code here, library code, like I mean, let me generate one new code, that is the R, and R for RAFLIMTS. So at very first we need to create, and then we can use it like in our catalog or somewhere. Category code, like the pattern category code. So I just use L and librarian where we need overdue notices, of course. And this can be any like 12 or whatever. I use 60 months here, like 5 years. Okay. And there we need to provide the administrator who is actually the main administrator of Koha library system. So I use my surname, I use my first name here, and we need to create the card number. After 501, I use as the card number, and then Farooq.Hussain as username, and then password. I select some strong password here, and the password confirm. Okay. So let me confirm the password here. We need to create item type. So the default is BK for book. I just go with book. And the circulation rules. So this is important. You can set circulation rules. So I go with the default setting here. And now let me log in to the staff interface. So done, it has installed, and you can see all modules are available here. It's Koha 25.05. You can check all details about the system when you click on Koha 25.05. This is actually the IP address. And yes, let us open the OPAC as well. So don't worry about this warning. This is CGI mode. Of course, we are using CGI mode. But for production system, you need to work with block. You need to activate that. But it's okay to go with CGI mode. That doesn't matter. Okay, this is the IP and instances. I can actually stop my instance here because we have completed, and you can stop this. So I just stop my instance here. And of course, it has stopped working. Okay, so this way we have installed the Koha library system on Amazon EC2 instance, and this is just for practice purpose. So keep watching RAFLIMTS.